Welcome to House of Horns. My name is Victor Corona, aka Victor Producer, and I'm joining you guys from my home studio. I'm back in LA, and what a way to kick things off with the Rams sweep the Cardinals and blow out Arizona 37-14. What a game by the Rams. Apparently, if you get Kyren Williams back, things just seem to fix your offense that way. And man, what a game by Kyren Williams! He comes back, and now he becomes the first Ram running back since 2015 when they had Todd Gurley to have 143 plus rushing yards in back-to-back games. And of course, he had those. He really loves playing against the Cardinals because he did that twice against the Cardinals. So a good win for the Rams. They improved to 5-6, and now are 4-1 versus the NFC West, and are one game out of a playoff spot. I mean, what a turnaround! What a difference 2 games makes for the Rams. Now they're in good shape. I'll go over the rest of the schedule. They have 6 games to go, and they have the Browns, the Ravens, the Commanders, Saints, Giants, and 49ers to end the season. So, I mean, they have a really good shot at making the playoffs. But let's get back to this game. I don't want to move ahead. Uh, we don't have Gilbert Manzano on today. He is busy covering the Rams and the Ravens and Chargers game tonight on Sunday Night Football, and also the Eagles and Bills game has gone in. I'm guessing it's going to go into overtime, so he's busy doing that today. So it'll be me by myself. But I do have an engagement question for you guys for whether you jump on here during this live edition of the post game show, or even if you come on after and you watch this, on tape after it's been recorded. Just let me know. This is my engagement question for you guys. Has the offense been fixed after the 37-point outburst versus the Cardinals? It was a good showing. I mean, the Rams had this game locked by, what was that, the second quarter, which must have been nice for Rams fans because you guys haven't enjoyed um this kind of a game in a while. And so for the Rams to have an easy win, you get to enjoy your Sunday and get to watch the other games. That was a good thing I'm sure for a lot of Ram fans. But there's a lot to get into, guys. As I said, Kyren Williams also had seven. This season he's had 7 plays of 20 plus yards, and 5 of those have come against the Cardinals. And shout out to the defense. I know. We're gonna talk a lot about this offense because it's been missing in action, and I think part of the reason it's been missing in action is, and I'll give credit to Gilbert. He mentioned it that this offense hasn't been the same since they lost Kyren Williams, and today, it came to fruition that the fact that this offense needs to have been fixed now that Kyren Williams is back, and you know the Rams defense allowed an opening. That's another thing too that was kind of it's been a good luck charm, I guess, for the Rams. Their defense allows an opening drive to the Seahawks and now to the Cardinals, and then does not allow a point until they pull the starters, which was kind of incredible to that wasn't just the only good thing about it. They held the Cardinals to 168 net yards at that point when they pulled the starters, and Kyren Williams had 204 scrimmage yards by that point. So, incredible job by the defense as well. We continue to praise Raheem Morris, and he's been great. It's been good to see him and what he's been able to do with this defense. It seems like, okay, we'll let you guys score on that first opening drive, and then we're gonna make the adjustments, and they did. And then another guy that I wanted to singled out for the Rams was um, with Jordan Fuller, who, after getting nominated for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award, he has his best game. He had 3 tackles, four pass breakups, so he was all over the place. And then Kobe Turner with 2 sacks. He came into the game with two, and then gets two on Kyler Murray. So that was another impressive thing as well. It's just been good to see this offense get back to what it can look like when you have a really good uh, uh, running back who can not only run between the tackles but can also catch passes out of the backfield. Let me go over some of the stats from today. I mean, Matthew Stafford, he still doesn't look right with that with the thumb injury, but he still is out there, playing through that pain. He was 25 of 33. 229 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. As I mentioned, Kyren Williams with a big game again against the Cardinals, 16 carries, 143 yards, 6 receptions, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. Royce Freeman also chipped in with a touchdown. He had 13 carries for 73 yards. And then I thought it was really funny. I wanted to tell this story. Um, about an hour before the game starts, we get the inactives, and one of the names that came up as an inactive was Tyler Higbee. Turns out they made a mistake. He wasn't inactive. He was actually active. And so for someone that wasn't supposed to play, according to the paperwork, he had 5 receptions, 29 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I know a lot of people have been critical that ever since he got the extension, he hasn't been good for the Rams, but I think a lot of it had to do with injuries. And so I think you kind of give him a pass here, but a great game. He tends to do. He's another player who does really well in his career against the Cardinals, and so Tyler Higbee, another great game against the Cardinals. But there's a lot to praise. The Rams for in this game, starting with Sean McVay, and I guess as we talked about, getting Kyren Williams back was a big deal, and as Gilbert mentioned, and I thought getting Kyren Williams back was I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but it turns out that it was, as we saw today. I mean, just what he can bring to this offense, and he might be the MVP going forward. They're gonna have to, if the Rams are gonna make a playoff push here and try to get that 7 seed, they're gonna need Kyren Williams to stay healthy and be their catalyst on offense. As we saw, Cooper Kupp still isn't right. He's still dealing with the ankle injury, and it's like the fourth straight game now where he doesn't get above 50 yards, I think, or the third straight game he doesn't get above 50 yards. So he's been struggling as well. Puka Nakua also wasn't as good today, but they're both, you can tell they're both fighting through injuries, and I think that's part of the reason too. But having Kyren Williams, you can tell after missing 5 weeks of action, he was ready to go. And that's the other thing too, when you have a player who is fresh, hasn't been playing for 5, hasn't been taking the pounding. You could tell he had some time off, and he took advantage of it because he had the burst out there for a lot of those 20 plus plays that he had today. And so he had 3 of them today. So I mean, that helps, especially when you're in week 12. A lot of the other teams are banged up, and so he was able to take advantage of that. But don't be shy if you're on here. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. I mean, has the offense now been fixed now that Kyren Williams is back? You let us know. We want to get into your responses of what you think of this Rams team, especially can they make the playoffs now? Can they go on a run? Um, after winning, another game against an NFC West opponent. They're 4-1 now. They have one divisional game left against the 49ers at the end of the season. You still have games against the Browns. The Browns come into SoFi Stadium next week. That should, you know, you should be able to beat them. The Browns, they lost DTR today against the Broncos, and so we'll see what the status is, and so it's a winnable game for the Rams, and then you go to the Ravens. Then you come home for two straight games against the Commanders and Saints. The Saints game is a Thursday night game. That'll be, we'll see if they don't flex it out or if the Rams keep that game, and then you also have the Giants, and then you finish up with the 49ers. So some winnable games in the schedule for the Rams, but you have to, as they say, the cliche, you got to take it one game at a time. Enjoy this win for today. I mean, it's pretty impressive to see the Rams going 4-1 against the NFC West after what happened last season. They went two straight November games, which last season I think they didn't win one, and it wasn't since 2020 that they had won a November game. So that's also another thing. I mean, it's things are looking up for this Rams team as they go in 5-6. You can get to 6-6 if with the win against the Browns, and then you're cooking. I mean, the only things are gonna look up for this team. I'm sure a lot. There was a lot of people who were disappointed with the fact that they won last week, and that meant that they dropped six picks. They went from six to picking number 12 in the first round. But you can't look at those things right now. Your team is, winning games, and that's all that should matter at this point in the season. You're just trying to get better each week, and these rookies. I mean, they got to steal in Colby Turner in the third round. I mean, they just continue to get uh, great play from this rookie class. And then I know a lot of people keep pointing to Stetson Bennett not being in on this team, but now you have Carson Wentz. He's a legitimate backup. He got into the game, and so things are looking up for this Rams team. Especially after last season. I told a lot of people that I thought this Rams team can get in the playoffs, and I know a lot of people were like, "What are you smoking?" But like when you have a coach like in Sean McVay, and you still have talent, and I thought the one thing I did not count on was this rookie class outperforming their status, and that's been good to see. But outside of that, I mean, in the defense, this no-name defense led by Raheem Morris has been just impressive to see. And so, you know, you're 5-6, and you're looking up now, and you're hoping that some of those teams in front of you start to lose, so you can get into the playoffs, get to that 7 seed. You saw the Packers. I think the Packers are going to be one of those teams you're going to have to keep an eye on, because they're starting to win games. They're starting to get it together, and they have the tiebreaker over the Rams. And so that's a team you want to keep an eye on, hoping that they start losing so you can try to get into the playoffs. But in terms of this game, I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Just keep it sweet and short. A good win for the Rams here. They win. They win their two straight for the first time this season. They've been playing. They play better on the road. They get Kyren Williams back, and I think he's going to be the reason why, if they get into the playoffs, he's going to be the reason why, and they're going to need to rely on him. They gave him 16 carries today. You don't want to get him injured again. I really like the fact that Kyren Williams, and they're involving Royce Freeman as well. I love the fact that they let him finish out the game. He got a touchdown there towards the end. Um, and this offensive line, I know, hasn't gotten a lot of credit, but Steve Avila has played really well. Coleman Shelton, like especially right up the middle, has been really solid. Uh, Alaric Jackson, I know there was a lot of people who were down on him. They're like, and he's probably going to be the one guy who gets replaced on this offensive line, during the offseason, because you want to be able to get a better left tackle. But for now he's been serviceable and he's been able to do the job. And I that's all you can ask for, especially for someone who was, drafted in the 7th round. I mean, he's a starter, and so they'll probably improve that going during the off season. But at 5-6, things are looking up, as I said, and the defense as well, man. Like, I gotta give a big shout out to every player on that team has stepped up. You get a new player on that defense stepping up. Today it was Jordan Fuller. Ernest Jones played his butt off. He's been hurt with that knee injury, and he's out there making plays. And so, you have some players that are hobbled, and so they were using an extra safety as a linebacker. It's been incredible just to see what Raheem Morris has been able to do with not a lot of talent. And so you're in a good spot right here as you go into week 13. You're gonna face the Browns and a chance to win 3 in a row. Hopefully you get more fans showing up. And don't sell your tickets against the Browns, and you get a little bit more of your fan base in there to try to win 3 in a row and get to 500, uh, since you were 3-3. So that'll be a good thing to look forward to. And then my 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 12 pack of beer is gonna go to Jordan Fuller. Just, I mean, he gets nominated for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award, and then comes out and just has his best game of the season. It tells you how much he is regarded by the players inside that locker room, to be nominated, and then he comes out and has his best game as a pro. So shout out to him. Enjoy that 12 pack of beer. But yeah, just an outstanding game for the Rams. This is the kind of game we ask, hey, do they need to go on a winning streak here? This was the path you needed to be able to get through the first half of the season in good shape. And up to that Packers game, we thought they were in good shape, and then Matthew Stafford got hurt against the Cowboys. They lose to the Packers, and things seem to be going down a spiral where you think, well, the season is pretty much done. Let's start looking forward to the off season and where the Rams can finish in the draft. But now, after 2 straight wins, they're in a good position. Hopefully, they can keep it up. Um, but enjoy this win. It's well deserved, especially after this season has been up and down. There's been a lot of question on offense, but now with Kyren Williams, it seems like this offense is gonna be good the rest of the season. Hopefully, they can keep him healthy. But that it for me, it's Jordan Fuller and that defense who gets my 12 pack of beer. But that's all I have for you guys today. Let us know, like I said, give us your feedback. Check in with us. We'll have the preview of the Browns and Rams. We'll be going back to our regular schedule now that I'm back in LA, from the home studio. There's not going to be a live for that preview, so we'll have a complete preview just like we've been doing before I left to Oklahoma. But just glad to be back in LA. Good win for the Rams, who improved to 5-6. But like I said, just give us your comments. Let us know how you're feeling, especially now that the Rams are 5-6. Can this team make a playoff push? Tell us what the pathway is for this team to get to the playoffs and get that 7 or 6 seed. Um, Let us know, and we'll share your comments for that preview against the Browns. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate you guys joining us. We're already at 708 subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,000. Don't forget to let people know that we're here on House of Horns. We have you covered for Rams coverage, and so we can get to 1,000. Somebody's gonna get a Puka Nakua jersey. So that's it for me, guys. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Enjoy this win. Rams are 5-6. Let's get ready for Rams and Browns next time we see you guys. So have a good rest of your day.